welcome back to video number 3, our final video in this month's colouring class. For this card I've used a different colour for the bunny and I'm going to show you how to create that look next. So you're going to need to use your sitting down bunny again. I've got a dimensional under mine. Your sitting down bunny, and you're going to need some little Easter eggs as well, plus your third card kit. Now I'm using the last of my half a sheet of white, so you've definitely got enough white to play around with in your kit, and then I'm stamping my images. For the Easter eggs, you're just going to need 2 sets of Easter eggs. So I've got 1 and I've got 2. Okay. These images are lovely to just stamp and just take your blends somewhere comfortable and cosy and do some stamping, do some colouring to lose yourself for a few hours. So I'm going to use now my bronze and my ivory blends. Now I actually think the bronze and the ivory are quite underrated, and they go together really, really nicely when they're used as a light and a dark. Okay, so I'm going to start by giving my bunny a really nice, not that one, a really nice wash of colour. This one here. Okay, so I'm just going to colour all into the face. I'm going to do what I did with the other bunnies and leave his sort of chest area white. Okay, don't forget the feet. Okay, so there is my start. We've done our layer of ivory. Now I'm going to take my bronze and I'm going to use this as if this was a dark shade. So don't panic, that is a completely different colour. It's just showing you how to use 2 colours as one. Okay. So I'm following the same idea of using this to highlight certain areas. Going around the eyes and just under a little bit. Okay. And in the base of the ears. Oh, we need to forget, can't forget his feet. Like so. Okay, so our bunny now looks a bit crazy, but now we're going to go in with our ivory again and we're going to blend in the spaces where the 2 colours meet. And what you notice is that brown almost disappears, and it's really amazing. Okay. So we're getting the same effect as we have with the light and the dark, but it's 2 different colours. Let's just go back over this area. How cool is that? I really love that. Now the little tip again, as always, is with our colour lifter, we're going to blend that colour down into the tummy, and then for this one I'm going to add just a little bit of grey at the base of the tummy and at the base of the ears. Okay, use our colour lifter again. Just be mindful with the colour lifter, it does make your colour spread quite a bit, so you really don't want to use too much of it. And there we have it, we've got a brown bunny using an ivory and a bronze blend. Love that. Okay, next we've got our eggs, so this is what I'm going to use a few more colours. So I'm using some yellow in here, so starting with the light shade. Adding in a bit of dark around the edges. And then overlapping with the light.
blend.
Okay, next we've got green, a little bit of green.
And then we've got our green for this one. So for the spotty one, I'm just colouring the whole
egg, and then adding some depth with
the darker shade.
That's it. Going back over with our light. And then we want a little bit of pink. Long end. Oops. This is what happens when your lids are on too tightly. So just take your lid off and then put that back. Flirty Flamingo is always quite luminous when you use it. And then we've got our orange. So for the orange, again, I'm going over with the light first. I actually quite like the lighter shade of this orange rather than the dark. And then adding my shading like so. Oops. And there we have it. Those are our images that we need. So I'm now just going to trim all of these out. Now, when you trim out the eggs, you'll notice that there's a gap between the two and the two that are attached. So I am going to trim them out as the two that are attached and then the one on its own. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do that for both sets of eggs and my bunny. Okay, welcome back. So now we have our images cut as we need them, and then we can open up our kit bag. Okay. So in your kit bag for this card, we've changed our card base. We've now got a Calypso coral card base. And we have a piece of white that is 10 by 14.4 centimetres. If I can get this glue out, we can add it. Really should leave my glue in my upside down pot. Okay, next we have 3 pieces of the same designer series paper. These pieces measure 4.5 centimetres wide, deep by 13.9 centimetres wide. So I'm going to add these to the front, just leaving a little white border between them. And they fit really, really nicely in that panel. Okay, Now in your kit you will also have 2 of these really, really pretty wreaths. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you've taken out all the pieces that need to come out. Where are my scissors? Right next to me. So just pop all the little stubborn pieces out. And the reason you've got 2, and I'll show you this in a second, some pieces are more stubborn than others, so just be really careful not to tear your piece. Okay, so the reason I've used 2 of these is because I think when you put one on, it looks a bit flat, whereas if you use 2, you can get a really good depth between them. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put my first one on with some mini dimensionals, and this is where you need to go quite careful because you need to place your dimensionals in the bigger areas. Okay, so I'm just adding these. Now around this sort of area where there's not a lot of big area, I'm going to put that bit at the bottom, okay, because that's going to be covered up by our bunny rabbit. So let's take off those backings. It's this piece, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so this bigger area is down at the bottom. Okay, so that's going to sit on there quite nicely. And then this piece we're going to stick on just with some wet glue. Right, so let's turn that over, and I'm moving it around slightly so you get a different layer. About there. So just give that a really gentle press, and you can see what I mean. You just get a bitter, it's a more detailed wreath. Then we can put our bunny rabbit on. So I'm putting some wet glue under his lower area, and then some dimensionals in the top. Like so. And then it's a case of just putting on our Easter eggs. That's it. And then the last piece of our puzzle is our sentiment. So I'm going to turn this into an Easter card. So I'm using this Happy Easter sentiment here. And I'm going to stamp that using Granny Apple Green ink. And snip off each end of your banner. I've snipped mine at an angle. And then that's going to go on our card like so. There we have it. The last thing you need to do is to add your piece of white into the centre. And you're done. That is card number 3, all finished. Do let me know what you think in the comments. I'd also love to know what your favourite card was as well. So we've got card number 1, 2 and 3 all done. I'll also share with you a little bit of other inspiration using this stamp set. So this is another card that I've used, and I've used the flowers as a sort of headdress for the bunny. And then these two are two cards that I made at my recent retreat. This one, all of these images have been coloured with watercolour pencils as opposed to the Stampin' blends. And you can see here where I've used the black to give you a deeper shade. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this class this month. I really do appreciate it. I am looking forward to seeing the new annual catalogue come out so I can start creating my next Friday night colouring class that I do hope you will join me on. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.